That shit looks like the Blazing Pass. Hey gamers, Gecko here. Sorry for the lack of uploads the past couple of days, my internet's been shitting itself, but it seems that it's working pretty well now, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk about the newest addition to Guilty Gear Strive, the Blazing Pass. If you're somehow out of the loop, the Blazing Pass is a battle pass that has been added to Guilty Gear Strive with a bunch of cosmetic features that you can unlock for multiple different characters. There's one unique skin for Eno in the pass, as well as a accessory for Soul Bad Guy, alongside several different unique haunted skins for other characters, 4 chapters of a short story, as well as a bunch of battle UI and wanted poster upgrades for you to unlock. It's been out for a couple of days now, and while originally I was going to show a video of me unlocking everything in the weekly pass, that video got corrupted, so I decided that I should spend the time now to actually talk about my thoughts on the whole thing, and let you guys know if I think it's worth it. And TLDR, yeah, kind of. The free pass itself doesn't give you that much. It's mostly filled with world dollars, which is the currency that is basically only used for the fishing minigame, which unlocks basically every cosmetic in the game that there is right now. This is mostly stuff like avatar and room things, though, not like specific character skins. It seems like they're going to be useful later, which we'll actually talk about in a little bit, but the free track doesn't exactly give you a lot of interesting things. There's a couple of small things in there that are kind of worth it to get. I think the short stories are actually really nice, and I'm glad that they're in the free track. There is a bug right now where you're able to view the entire short story for completely free after you've unlocked the first chapter, but considering that the entire thing's free, I really don't think having it be artificially locked behind either a paywall or a couple of weeks of grinding is really worth too much. The short story itself is really nice and focuses on actually quite a lot of characters. There's about 6 different characters in the entirety of the short story, and it bounces between different perspectives for those characters. It might be 5, actually. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5. It's a nice way to flesh out the Strive cast and show a lot of interactions and chemistry between characters that we haven't got in a while, or that we've basically never seen interact before. For context, the first chapter that you can get is between Testament and Elfelt. I don't think that's an interaction we've ever really seen, mostly because Elfelt and Testament are from completely different games, but it's a nice little interaction with them both. I enjoyed it as a little thing to have on the side, and the fact that it's completely free is really nice. I really enjoy that. I think it's a nice incentive to get people to just do a couple of the missions. Speaking of the missions, I think the Blazing Pass is actually really lenient on what it wants you to do. There's 2 sets of missions. There's daily missions and weekly missions. Daily missions are ridiculously easy to the point where you can probably get them done in a single match, not just a single day. These are things like use an overdrive, block with faultless defense. A couple of things that you should probably already be doing, to the point where you'll just unlock it naturally. The weekly ones, though, I've got a little bit more to say about. Every week, we unlock a set of 3 new challenges, and these challenges are a little bit more unconventional. The first week's was use a homing jump, which is the jump that you get after a fully charged dust. Get a perfect... I can't remember the last one. But those were the 2 that really stuck in my head. Might have been really easy. Was it really easy? I actually can't remember. These generally take a little bit more effort to do, especially for someone like me who's in Vanquisher. It's not every day that you hit a fully charged 5D. It was really something that I had to fish for, to the point where the first time that I actually hit it, it didn't count. I hit it as my opponent was doing something else, and it ended the round, so I wasn't able to get the homing jump, which kind of sucked. But it led me to realize something a little bit weird. I was having a lot more fun focusing on doing the daily and weekly missions than I was when I just generally played Strive. Something I talked about a very long time ago on the main channel is that setting small goals for yourself while playing a fighting game is a very good way of improving your gameplay slowly over time. I've done it a little bit on this channel. I had one where I would penalize myself a little bit if I did something I didn't want to do by putting something on my OBS overlay to slightly annoy me. But having the game itself reward me for doing slightly weird and unconventional things was actually quite fun. It was nice having the challenge of having to land a fully charged 5D, as well as get a perfect, which was really interesting for someone who doesn't really try to go for these things as often. It forced me to think more about how I played the game, and find ways to root it into the actual setups that I was doing. I really enjoyed it. I think that they were pretty good challenges. I also think the pass itself is relatively lenient. I spoke to someone today and they said that it was actually kind of tight. You want to unlock literally everything in the pass for free, then you're gonna have to do like 35 days worth of dailies, which can be a lot for several people, considering that, you know, they don't do this as a job. It's a hobby. But I got 10 tiers after doing my weeklies and my dailies, and that felt relatively generous. Considering we have about like 7 weeks to get this pass done, I think it is genuinely quite lenient with the amount that you can play. I do think not getting any points just from general gameplay does kind of suck, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I think that having the dailies be the only way that you can get the pass is a nicer incentive to keep people playing for a while. It's good in fighting games generally to build up a habit of doing smaller sessions more often. If you do too long of sessions too often, you'll generally burn yourself out. So maybe just having it be that you only play a couple matches a day to try and get the things in the Blazing Pass might be a lot better for some people. It also gives people the excuse of going, well, I didn't necessarily do that well today, but hey, at least my dailies are done. I feel like, personally, it gives me a nice little cushion to fall back on whenever I lose, because I have something else that I was able to work towards. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty fun. I think it's going to be a fun thing to do every week. Not to mention, it doesn't take that long to do the weeklies. The first weeklies took me less than an hour to finish, and a couple of the other ones do look a little bit scary, but they're generally not that bad. Just fun side objectives to try and do in the game, and some of them aren't even really side objectives, they're just things that you should generally be doing. As for the rewards in the pass as well, I haven't actually bought the premium pass yet, because I don't mess with most of the rewards. I think the battle UI and the, wanted poster skins are really cool. I really like those. I also like that there's badges referencing older games, because it gives us a little bit more of a way to customize the way that we express ourselves in parks. But I don't really fuck with the haunted skins that much. A couple of people have pointed out that they're quite hard to see on some maps, and are probably going to lead to them being banned in most tournaments, and I kind of agree with that. They're just not that nice to look at, and the weird glowy outline and the fact that a couple of things on them are darker than they should be, just, it ain't for me. I would personally have preferred a less flashy color, maybe something that just made the character's skin more gray, more zombie-like, and some dark purple clothing. I think it would have worked really well for a haunted theme, especially if they got yellow eyes or something. But the fact that they're glowy just really throws me off. I've never liked any of the glowy skins that have been in Strive. I absolutely despise all of the PlayStation skins because they're just too weird and too glowy. I hope in the future we essentially just get more weirdly themed custom colors. Considering that the next Blazing Pass is probably going to be during the release of Robo-Kai, it would be cool if we got a Robo-Kai inspired color for several people in the cast. You know, make their skin green, make the color of their clothes either white and blue or red and green, and give them blonde hair. They don't need a glow, they don't need to look silly, their weapons don't need to change that much. It could just be a nice visual representation of the theme of the pass. Then again, just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it's not for everyone. I'm sure that there's people who do like the haunted skins. I know because they keep adding skins like that to all of their fighting games. Xrd has so many of the glowy skins, it's quite annoying, but we'll just have to see what happens in the future. As for the Eno skin, I personally think this one is a bit of a cop-out. That model has been in the game for 5 years. The fact that they've just edited it and made the outline of her glow is quite annoying. I do like the color swap, but it is quite annoying. Then again, we've already seen the Dizzy skin, and the Dizzy skin is very, very, very different. Obviously, a much more unique type of skin, so I'm not too worried about that. As for the price, I can't complain. It's $5. It's $5 over here in the UK, which is pretty good, honestly. I did say I would like it if they would make it so that you get the money that you spent back once you completed the Blazing Pass, but there's no real way to exchange world dollars for the Blazing Pass. However, they have said things in the Blazing Pass will be made available for free later down the line. And by for free, I mean you're going to be able to buy it with world dollars. So you don't get, like, your physical money back. You don't get the next Blazing Pass for free. But if you miss a Blazing Pass down the line, you'll be able to get its contents for free. I think that this is a relatively good trade. It's not what I like in Battle Passes, but it's good enough that I can't be upset. Honestly, pretty successful if you ask me. Play the game for about a month, get everything in the pass, buy it if you want the skins, and if you don't, you can get them with world dollars that you get from the pass for free after it's done. I think it's really good. I think they did a really good job. This could have been an absolute disaster. It could have been absolutely terrible. And while it's not everything that I like about the Blazing Pass, I do think it's a good enough feature that I'm happy for it to be there. It generally makes me interested and excited to play Strive a little bit every week. Because now when I go into a ranked stream, it's not just, oh guys, let's try and hit a new high DR rank. It's, hey, we have these list of challenges, let's try and do them, and let's see the silly things that happen afterwards because of it. So yeah, good job, Arxus. But what do you, the commenter, think? Let me know down in the comment section below, and while you're down there, why don't you subscribe for more Guilty Gear Strive content? Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!